Downrange Television and OutdoorChannel.com, I'm Michael Bain, coming to you this week from the Nerve Center of the secret hidden bunker in the Rocky Mountains and the home studio for Downrange Radio, our weekly 45-minute audio podcast, and also where we've been doing research for the top story of this week, McDonald versus Chicago. Oral arguments at the Supreme Court yesterday on whether the Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms, should be incorporated against states. Now, if you go to Downrange Television, we have a lot of analysis there by some of the top scholars in the field, including David Hardy, David Kopel, and Jim Shepard, who was actually there in the room for the arguments. The summation: the right to keep and bear arms, the Second Amendment, had a very good day yesterday. Based on all the analysts we can find, it looks like the Second Amendment is going to be incorporated against the states, and the Chicago handgun ban, which has been in place for 30 years, is going to be struck down. Of course, as Steve Sinetti, the head of the National Shooting Sports Foundation and himself a lawyer, said, nobody makes money handicapping Supreme Court races. We won't be able to find out until June, but so far things look very good for the Second Amendment. In competition news this week, congratulations are in order for Robert Vogel of Team EOTac, who essentially won the Smith & Wesson IDPA Indoor Championships. Now, that's the International Defensive Pistol Association, and I say essentially won because within IDPA, all competitors compete only in their own division. However, Robert Vogel, a full-time police officer, had the best score and narrowly beat out Dave Savigny, a perennial winner from Team Glock. An interesting point here: as a full-time police officer, Robert Vogel has a 40 or 50 hour a week job, and he's competing against a lot of professional shooters. On the women's side of that match, there's a name you may be familiar with. Randy Rogers from Team Glock took the high position. If you're a fan of cowboys, you've seen a lot of Randy Rogers, but with her cowboy alias of Holy Terror. As a member of Team Glock, she's become one of the top women competitors in the world in all of practical pistol. In other competition news, we've got more congratulations for Steve Deuce Stevens and Teresa Two Sons Selby, who are the high overall winners at the Cowboy Nationals. That's the Winter Range in Phoenix, Arizona, which we shot last week. Deuce Stevens has been a real up-and-comer on the circuit, and this is his first big championship, but you can be sure it's not going to be his last. I would also like to mention that in shooting that competition, I finished clean, in the middle of the pack, but clean, with no drop shots, only one of 50 out of 650 shooters. Next year, Deuce, I'm coming for you. Also moving into retail pipelines this week is Remington's Beast, their massive 887 Nitro Mag Tactical pump shotgun. Imagine a Remington 870 on steroids. It holds 6+1 of any 12-gauge shell, all the way up to 3.5-inch mags, and basically it's huge. The only thing it needs, I think, really, is one of those great big fat sound suppressors like Javier Bardem used in No Country for Old Men. Seriously, this is a very, very powerful, practical, tactical shotgun, and if you like 870s, you know that the Remington 887 is going to work for you. Finally, this week's scurrilous gun industry gossip reminds me of a poem from my high school days. I saw a man upon the stairs, a little man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. Gee, I wish he'd go away. Rumors continue swirling around the little man on the stairs who's not there, and that is 2 new 1911 launches for next year. Both of them come from our companies. A lot of rumors around Remington and a lot of rumors around Ruger. Now, much like the little man on the stairs, I've talked to lots of people who say they've seen prototypes of the Remington 1911, but nobody has any pictures. And as far as the Ruger executives are still adamantly denying that they have a 1911 in development, even though a number of people have been approached to discuss what features are going to be on the gun that is not in development. So I suspect we're going to have to wait till SHOT next year, but don't be surprised if the little man who isn't there is there. That's all for this week. Be sure to visit Downrange Television, www.downrange.tv, for our expanded coverage of McDonald v. Chicago, the oral arguments at the Supreme Court on Tuesday. Also, any other news of the week that's going to be turning up. For Outdoor Channel and Downrange Television, I'm Michael Bain. We'll see you with all the news in gun world next Wednesday.